Time for our 27th and final race of round 2 of the 2023 BNL Karting Series season. There is Paul Forquevin trying to sort out his visor there. It's the senior road tax final. Let's take you through the starting grid. After winning the pre-final, it's Ethan Jeff Hall on pole position. He'll have teammate from Strawberry Racing alongside Mark Kimber. Sean Butcher and Kai Hillets, that's row 2. Matthew Higgins and Kai Hunter, row 3. Lewis Gilbert, Austin Lee, Dion Van Verven and Nolan Lemerhay ran out the top 10. Vic Stevens and Farin Mega, that is row number 6. Row 7, it's Matti Sturlo and Devian Horst with Zombor Kovac and Lachlan Robinson completing the top 8 rows. Jort van Wijk, Days Dams, Sverre Ubben and Laurent Legault from Canada round out the top 20. Maxence Bouvier, Luke Neeson, Axel Goes, Jori Schoens, Vincent Van Kerkhoff and Jules Roussel, Ivar Anagnostiadis, Alexander Savinkov, Tommy van der Stroys, Ralph van der Pavet, Lawrence Herboz, Danny Prins, Montego Masson, Jaden Teen, Zach Scala and Paul Forquemin round out the 36-strong grid. And Nolan Lemerhay will not be starting from the outside of row number 5. RM Concept Mechanics now working on the driver's cart. So once again, we will go into battle over 15 minutes plus an additional lap for this race. The field is ready to compete for the final time here at Karting d'Espagne. Are we ready? Are we steady? Revs rise, lights out. We are underway. And Ethan Jeff Hall has got Mark Kimber to his outside. Kai Hillett is a little bit wide coming out of turn number 1. Sean Butcher trying to make his way through into turn 2 in 3rd position. As Lewis Gilbert makes his way up to 5th place. 2 wide on the approach into turn number 4. And there's been a massive incident. Massive incident. Several drivers involved. 321. Days Dams, one of the KR Sport drivers, I think, was in there. Laurent Legault. It came to a head right on the cusp. I thought as soon as we had 2 wide, there were people that were going to lunge up the inside quicker than you could say the word jump. It's getting a bit feisty a little bit further back behind Zombor Kovac. Sverre Ubben has just had Lachlan Robinson go through on the inside of him. After lap 1, Ethan Jeff Hall leads the way. Mark Kimber. It's a top 6 lockout by the Brits and they are starting to pull away. Vic Stevens is the next nationality in terms of representation. As up the inside, there was a move a little bit further back. We've got yellow flags and we've got 2 carts, one on top of the other. I think one of them is Lachlan Robinson in the 326. 326 and the other one. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Now that is a Dams racing cart. That could have been Jori Schoens, who's basically saying to Lachlan Robinson, what are you playing at? And Lachlan Robinson was saying, well, you know what, don't have a go at me. So that can just show that if you are in the mid-pack, that is the danger point, especially at the start. The timer is counting down, folks. Don't worry about that as Mark Kimber round the outside, holds it steady, steers the ship in the right direction and keeps ahead of Ethan Jeff Hall. But Matthew Higgins now is in 3rd. Sean Butcher is in 4th. 5th, Kai Hunter. 6th, Lewis Gilbert. Then it's Vic Stevens Austin Lee, Matti Sturlo, Dion van Verven, Zombor Kovac, Devian Horst, Farin Mega, Maxence Bouvier, Jules Roussel, Sverre Ubben, Axel Goes, Tommy van der Sloys, Vincent van Kerkhoven, and Montego Masson. That is the top 20, and they are covered by 5 seconds. Ralph van der Pavert, and get this for a little bit of a news flash, folks. Australia's Iva Anagnostiidis, she is currently 22nd and climbing up the order. She qualified for the top 36 through the second chance heat this morning. So 3 minutes completed, 12 to go. Move and a change for second. Back up the inside into P2. Goes Ethan Jeff Hall on Matty Higgins. And Sean Butcher was wetting the wings to see what would transpire. But look at the train. Look at the train going through into turn 5. Joining Gilbert, joining the back end of it in the form of Lewis Gilbert is Austin Lee and Vic Stevens. And behind them, I spotted, oh, right. That is another driver that is out, and that is Ralph van der Pavert, if I'm very much mistaken. No, well, that might be. He was a little bit further down the order. Kai Ridditz is all the way down in the back of the order. He might have been caught up in that melee at turn 4 in the early part of the race. Gilbert starts defending. Stevens back up the inside of Lee. Matisse Turlo, that's the 360. 380, that's Jaden Teen. As, oh, dearie me, what on earth was that? Jaden Teen, well, that was the 360 Farin Mega. That was Jules Roussel going up the inside. More yellow flags out. There are people trying to go for gaps that I think very much are non-existent. As soon as someone's turning in, you're trying to fire it up the inside. If you know that they're not going to turn in, you've got that chance. But Mark Kimber has now scarpered away into the distance like a scalded cat on a hot tin roof. He's 1.5 seconds ahead of the next challenger, Matthew Higgins. He's got behind him Ethan Jeffall, Sean Butcher, Kai Hunter, Lewis Gilbert. Fastest lap of the race, Kai Rillatz. He's got a 55.410. Now, where is Rillatz at the moment? He was 31st last time around. And he's 30th now, so he's only gaining position, getting past Days Dams. I'm just seeing there the 334 of Argenti Motorsports, Alexander Savinkov, down in 28th position. And there are some attempts there. There's the 301 that's just got through. Maxence Bouvier on Farin Mega. Along with that, Zombor Kovac is through. Mark Kimber, well, his lead now is 2.8 seconds. At this point in the race, I'm not even going to say what's going to happen next, because Mark Kimber, when he was running as a DD2 driver, he was and this was last year, let's not forget. The year prior to that, he came back as a senior at Wackersdorf. And a couple of other rounds, I think, for the Euro Trophy. Move and change. So Matthew Higgins has now lost out to both Sean Butcher and Kai Hunter. Oh, bump over the curbs. That was very, very cheeky, but very, very well timed. Overtaking opportunity there that was fully exploited by Lewis Gilbert, the pride of Scotland. He's got just behind him Vic Stevens. Devian Foster will be in that mix as well, along with Tommy van der Stroys. So we're fast approaching half-time in this race. And you can see the colossal differential. Oh, well, there we go. There's a move up the inside through into turn number 5. And that was facilitated by, more than likely, Devian Horst, I would have thought, and he went wide. And all of a sudden, that opened the floodgates. So Dion van Verven had an opportunity. He took full advantage of it. So did Tommy van der Stroy. So did Sverre Ubben. And Devian Horst finds himself behind the trio. He's then got Maxence Bouvier and Zsombor Kovac to deal with. Battle for second still very much alive between the quartet that you've just seen going through into turn 1. Ethan Jeffall is now down in... Well, Ethan Jeffall is second. That's the battle for third. So that's between Butcher, Hunter, Higgins and Lee. Sverre Ubben is making some steady progress. I might think that the 3-4-4 is getting closer and closer to the top 10. 10th being occupied by Tommy van der Stroy from the Netherlands at this moment. Now Dion van Verven going into battle with Tommy van der Stroy. Van der Stroy gets through on the approach into turn 2, and then Sverre Ubben decides to stick his nose in and can't get through because Dion van Verven shut the door right in his face. And that's allowing Devian Horst to try and close on in, and Devian Horst up the inside, and he tangles with him. Oh, dearie me, that was never going to work on a month of Sundays, and Sverre Ubben is not going to be at all happy with how Devian Horst attacked that corner. More to the point, went right up the inside of him. He's staying out of the way. He's letting everyone through. He's having to let pass, so Lewis Gilbert now gets through. So he's going to have to let a couple more drivers through. I would think Dion van Verven and Tommy van der Stroy, but yeah, Devian Horst went for the move. I think it was just the fact that Dion van Verven turned it in, and then all of a sudden, he may not have seen Devian. He might have looked over his shoulder and said, well, Devian's not going to go for the move. Devian did go for the move, and yeah, I'm sure that one's going to be investigated. But it's difficult from my point to give a 100% unbiased opinion because I can only see part of the imagery, folks. And now we have Vic Stevens ahead of Matty Higgins. That's for 5th place. Lewis Gilbert is behind them at the moment. We're coming up to 4 3/4 minutes still to go. Higgins is right in the slipstream of Vic Stevens. Now returns the favour through turn number 1. They were sidewall to sidewall on that particular occasion. Now is Lewis Gilbert's opportunity to try and get through on the youngster from Belgium in the 369 who was running as a junior last season. So was the man behind him, Tommy van der Stroy, the BNL Karting Series junior Rotax champion from last year. If anyone might remember, Tommy van der Stroy was 10th and came back to win it on the final race of the season. Switching backwards and forwards from left to right, Matthew Higgins is trying everything in the playbook. And Tommy van der Stroy also gets through, so does Lewis Gilbert. But he leaves the door open for Vic Stevens to get back through. There goes Sverre Ubben through on the 316 from Scotland. And Tommy van der Stroy was an absolute machine going through that particular part of the circuit. The reason being is that he was launching over the curbs. And now Lewis Gilbert's coming under attack. Through on the inside. That's the 360 of Foreign Mega. There's Jaden Teen. Where on earth has he sprung from? He's rocketed up the order. Lachlan Robinson out of the race on the early part of the early couple of laps. Dion van Verven 2 wheels off of the tarmac. Joris Schoens on lap 2. And Ralph van der Pevert lap 3. Nolan Lemeray had troubles before we'd even gotten going. And I'm not too sure if the number 332 from France is going to continue, but with 3 minutes to go, the desperation in the driving styles seem to start appearing. So with 2 minutes and 50 to go, look at this gaggle here. Oh my goodness, they were coming through the chicane 2 by 2, hurrah! As now Austin Lee looking to get through on Kai Hunter for 4th position. They went through into the right-hand sweeper. And still kept it line astern. But Austin Lee now gets through on Kai Hunter to take 4th position. But they've got a second between them. Ah, right, yellow flags at turn 3. So someone might have had a little bit of a moment. Oh, there's a Sodi cart. Yeah, there's a driver. Didn't pick out the number. Oh, that's Max. Oh, no. Of all people, Maxence Bouvier. Well, that just goes to show how quickly a race can change. Maxence Bouvier was at the sharper end of the field and unfortunately now is out of this final. But we come towards the final few moments of this race weekend here at Karting d'Espagne in Marienbourg. There is the 316. That is Lewis Gilbert, who's now currently sitting in 12th position. Now, there has been a lot of moving and changing up and down the order. Tommy van der Stroys finds himself in 6th position ahead of Matthew Higgins. Zombor Kovac now behind Jules Roussel in the 909. So 2 more laps remain here at Karting d'Espagne in Marienbourg. For the second round, we are almost at half-time for this championship season for the Road to Bahrain, for the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals between December 2nd and 9th at the Bahrain International Karting Circuit. The title is still very much open in a couple of the categories. As next time around we get the final last lap board of the weekend, and it's one person that has made good his intentions. Mark Kimber out of the chicane. 1 more lap to go for the driver based up north in the United Kingdom. He's done GTs, but he's come back to karting. Also along with him and former senior Rotax European champion, Grand Finals champion last year in Portimao, Callum Bradshaw. They're doing a lot of driver coaching now to the younger generation. And with a skill set like this, a resume like his, a 3-time Grand Finals champion in 3 different classes. 2016 as a junior. He won as a senior in 2021, and then 2022, he capped it off with DD2. But here at Marienbourg, it's Mark Kimber, Strawberry Races hotshot, that comes out of the chicane. He will win the final on Sunday. It's another victory for Mark Kimber. It's a Strawberry Racing 1-2, thanks to Ethan Jeff Hall. Sean Butcher keeps himself in the mix with a 3rd place finish ahead of Austin Lee. Kai Hunter in 5th, ahead of Tommy van der Stroys. Matthew Higgins, Vic Stevens, Farin Mega makes his way up the field to finish in 10th, ahead of Sverre Ubben, Jaden Teen, Jules Roussel, Lewis Gilbert. Kai Hillitz recovers to finish in 14th, ahead of Dion van Verven, Lawrence Herboz, Zombor Kovac, Devian Horst, Mathis Turlo, Vincent van Kerkhoffen running at the top 20 with Montego Maassen, Pulfo Quemin, Jod van Wijk, Zach Scowler, Thijs Dams, Ivar Anagnostiidis, Axel Goes, Alexander Savinkov, Luke Neeson, Danny Prinz, Lauren Legault, and Nolan Lemerhay being the last of the 32 classified finishers. Maxence Bouvier out on lap 13, Ralph van der Pevert on lap 3, Jori Schoens and Lachlan Robinson on laps 2 and 1 respectively eliminated from proceedings.